Rosie here, and today I'm actually doing a private recording only because one, no one is on to do it with me, and two, I'd rather do something like a recording instead of just watching and reviewing for a match that people have been debating or something over. So today we are doing Doryan vs. Devour. I saved it as debate, and so we'll begin. And note, because this is a recorded replay, we will actually be able to see what each opponent has in their hands. Now, Devour is using Kagero, and Doryan will be using Gold Paladins. And I don't quite remember what the issue was at the end or something, but I'll just treat this like any other recording, and we'll see what happens. So right now they're just getting set up. Looks like Devour doesn't have a grade 3 in hand at the moment. Maybe he'll get one later. Now also note, Doryan also said that Conroe, the starter, is banned as a starter in, it's actually only applies to the Japanese version. Most people in the area I know don't really care about that unless it's something for English as well, like Barkgall being banned as a starter for both. So I really don't give a shit. Other people might. I don't know if Doryan does. I would say let it go, only because a lot of people do follow the English version of the ban list here on Cardfight Area instead of the Japanese. Although, whereas Devour doesn't have a grade 3 at the moment, looks like Doryan has a full chain ride. So, not chain ride, but ride to grade 3, whatever. And most of the time, I'll either be quiet during this video or just rambling on about random shit, only because I'm all by myself. All by myself. And I'll be able to look into what cards, obviously, Doryan has in hand, because this is done in his point of view. We don't get to see, like, the info like this does for Devour, but we can kind of tell what they are. So far, there's only grade 1, grade 0s, and grade 2s, so we'll hope for the best. Violence, Horn, Dragon, and Burnout Dragon, which is that one up there, as well as Eternal Bringer, are obviously Overlord-specific cards, so I'm expecting Draconic Overlord, the Break Ride, as well as Rebirth. And obviously with Doryan, we have Liberator Monarch Alfred. So, we'll just see what happens. Right now, since it's just starting, it's kind of slow and boring, because nothing is really happening. And also, if we manage to hear some random noise in the background, I'm not sure if you'll be able to. I'll surely check the recording after this. I have a YouTube playlist going on in the background. It's just to keep me not feeling alone and mopey and etc. because I'm all by myself. Alright, so Doryan had heal triggered, not that that helps him. Right now, Devour doesn't have, he has 2 grade 2s to go with right now, but he needs a grade 3 soon, or he's gonna miss. And misride always sucks. Depending on when you misride, depending on what grade, and especially for how long you misride, it could change the game entirely, mostly to your opponent's favor. So right now he uses Conroe's ability, which is Counterblast 1, I think. That was Conroe, right? Yeah. Why did it go to the soul? So anyways, that card should be going into the drop zone, not the soul. But he gets a perfect guard from Conroe's Search, which is definitely good in this case because he doesn't have a grade 3 at the moment, and he's probably preparing for that. And plus getting a perfect guard anyways is good. It'll save you a guard later. But yeah, Conroe should not have gone to the soul. That goes to the drop zone. And there's a crit, which definitely helps if he's gonna misride. Which doesn't help because Doryan heals. which this time he actually does get to heal. So, oh well, the great equalizer, as Nova would put it. But at least Connor's counterblast doesn't go to waste because Bellicosity hit the Vanguard, so it's a damage unflip. So he can use that counterblast for later if he needs to. And I think right now Doryan had actually gotten the 2 heal triggers to come off. He didn't get that opponent there, but he did get 2 triggers already, and it's still real early game. Granted, Devour had gotten a crit, but for that heal to come when it did, that's that's evil. Alright. Just setting up a normal column, I would assume. I mean, Doryan could have put like one of these grade 2s down there behind, in front of Alm, just to put a little more pressure. And looking at the review, he could have probably done that just because there was no grade that was a stand trigger too. So yeah, if he had attacked with the left column, like if he had set down Star Rain or Blaster Blade, he would have gotten a 3rd attack because of that stand trigger if he went rear guard, then Vanguard, then rear guard again. But we'll see if that would have actually had helped him, because dealing only 1 damage, we'll see if Devour would have gotten the grade 3, or if he would have taken, or if he would have like damage checked a grade 3 and missed it. Well, good news is Devour got a heal trigger, so granted if they did do that, it actually might not have worked. We'll just see what he gets. So Devour's turn, you draw, and he misses the grade 3. However, if Doryan had done the whole attack, put one of these down, attack with this, he would have healed. Attack with Vanguard, he would have drawn. So he wouldn't have been able to get that 3rd attack in. And because Devour misrode, he's killing Alm, which is always a good idea, especially with Alfred. That Alfred. And I don't see why people are going off about who hacks, because, you're both triggering relatively equally. They both healed. They both got some other trigger. In Doryan's case, it was a stand, and Devour's, it was a crit, which is neutralized by the heal. So, Bellicosity hits, doesn't get a grade 3, unflips the damage for later. However, Doryan has grade 3. And I would at least summon one of these, maybe. Only because... Does he have a Blaster Blade in here somewhere? No. Well, maybe. I guess that's okay to wait. He doesn't have a booster anyway, so... Not that he would need one. Just at the moment, most people who are facing against a misride, such as Doryan is facing Devour right now, they would take advantage of that beyond necessity. Can't speak. And we now have the 2nd heal trigger. Third heal trigger, but it's the 2nd one that went off. However, Doryan did actually make a good move by moving that Blaster Blade from the damage into the drop, because then next turn he can use Star Rain to put that Blaster Blade into the deck and get a call from it. And unfortunately, Devour doesn't get another grade 3, so that's the 2nd turn in a row that he's misriding. So that might push a little bit about, like, turning the tables and everything with this match. Granted, he does have relatively a lot of guard, so we'll just mostly have to see what the hell happens. What do you do again? Oh. Yeah, Eternalbringer Griffin's only useful if you actually had a grade 3 in hand. But at the moment, it's what he needs, because it's his only grade 1 for a booster to actually hit Vanguard. And thankfully, Devour finally got a grade 3 in that drive check. It was Dragonic Overlord, the reverse? One of the two. They change it. Alright, so no triggers in the checks. There is one over here in Doryan's drive, which was a crit, not that it would have helped him anyways if it was damage. Okay, so now he's going to do the Star Rain, like I said before. He's going to put that Blaster Blade in the deck and then get a call from it. In this case, he actually gets Ballin', which is actually really good in this sort of deck because most of this deck with Alfred Monarch, it revolves a lot around Blaster Blade. And as long as you have the 2 Ballin' here on the field, you get to unflip when Blaster Blade is called. And Blaster Blade uses the counterblast when it's called, so you can call it and unflip. If he's going to do that now, I don't know. I mean, potentially he could, and then he would get another attacker, which is all you need with 9 versus 9 for the grade 2 Vanguard. However, he might not want to, only because then Devour might try and kill the Blaster Blade for later. And I don't know if if Doryan would be able to get the Blaster Blade back for Alfred's ultimate break later. Not that it's... Granted, it gives him 10k in a crit, but I personally don't give a shit. I mean, I wouldn't try super hard to get it. So this is alright. It's going well. Now, if I was Devour, I would probably actually defend that one. I would guard that. Because he's already 2 turns behind in grade, so... Okay, so yeah, he did guard it. And now we attack with the Vanguard, which gets power because there's Gold Paladin Rears. Shit. Okay, so we have a stand trigger, so Star Rain gets to attack again. And that's a grade 3 break ride thing. Shit. So, Devour obviously took Vanguard, so I don't know if he's going to guard this one, only because, I mean, he does have 10k to guard it. It's still a pain, though, because it's literally just within what he needs to guard for 5k, and it sucks. Okay, so he does guard it. That's actually probably good, because he's still behind relatively in hand and everything, so... And my YouTube stopped. God damn it, I was listening to that. And random 13k Vanguard. Yeah, that's not... Okay, so it is the reverse. I'm a herb. So, that's just an area glitch. It's not... It's supposed to account for the fact if it was actually cross-ride if you had the Dragonic Overlord in there, which he doesn't, so I'm hoping he changes that, because that throws off my adding. And I really hate it when people add stuff to their Vanguard and don't take it off afterwards at the end of their turn, because it messes up my adding, but that's just me. So that needs to be 11, that needs to be 11, that's just kind of there. Okay. At least Devour changed his. I mean, Doryan's isn't too bad, because, I mean, it gets the power every time it's his turn, so... Okay, so he attacks with the Vanguard first. My guess is that Devour doesn't run stand triggers. I mean, we haven't seen any with him lately, and there's another grade 3. Seriously, though? They're all Dragonic Overlord the reverse. What? At least he gets a draw trigger, so that'll help catch up in this hand difference here. And obviously you give the power to Burning Horn. And he drew a crit. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if Devour runs stand triggers or not. I mean, the way you attacked, you didn't really account for a stand trigger. So I don't know. We'll find out. And kill the Star Rain. It might be because he doesn't... excuse me. He doesn't want to deal with Alfred's Limit Break. Not that it would actually do too much at the moment. Granted, if he had gotten a Blaster Blade, sure, why not? It would have gotten him more on flip. Not that he needs it. Because he doesn't have Counterblast. And actually, that's not a bad field. Okay, so yeah. So, like I said before, Counterblast 2, and then you unflip 2, so no cost. Anyways, so if he were to Alfred right now, if he could actually put all of these on top of the deck, and then call them back. And he, even though he wouldn't be able to retire anything with Blaster Blade Liberator, because it retires front row only, he would at least be able to get Yosef, but it's not really... A, he can't do it anyways right now because there's no Limit Break, but B, he would at least get Yosef if he did. But he can't. Never mind. Because I forgot that Alfred has 2 Soul Blast. And Yosef is Soul Blast. And there's no... yeah. Okay. Don't mind me, just rambling because I'm bored. Wow, that was a lag. Alright, so taking a look at Devour's hand and the field setup, I would actually guard this first. Only because it would only require this 10k that he has here, and should Doryan get a trigger, it means he would need more guard to guard later. Unfortunately, Devour didn't do that. We'll see what happens. And yes, Alfred gets that much because he has a full field. So, what do we got? We got perfect guard, so that'll help, again, at least against a crit. Drop one of those useless grade 3 now. And there's that trigger that I thought might have happened. It was a draw trigger, which doesn't help this hand disadvantaged. There's another one. What the fuck?! And there, he just drew this. Excuse the stupid overlap, but there's literally 3 draw trigger right there. Okay. So, unless Devour wants to deal with 5 damage versus 26. Yeah, 26. He would literally need 20k to guard that. So this is why I would have guarded that 10k against Star Rain earlier and then dealt that, and you would have only taken your 4 damage. Seriously though, I kind of feel bad for Devour only because 1, he misrode for 2 turns, and 2, Doryan, you really are getting triggers like out the ass a little bit. Just a little bit. That draw trigger threw everything off. Well, draw triggers. There's an S. I'm just curious as to what Devour's gonna do right now. Because hand size, he's a little behind, especially if he's gonna end up calling the entire field to do Rebirth's Limit Break. Plus, Doryan's only at 3 damage right now. He can take 2 damage without wasting any hand and be fine. Alright, but he did at least call Burnout. So that's, you put 1 Overlord, excuse me. Put 1 Overlord from your drop, which I believe he picked up that one, where is it? Can you let me see it? Okay. Yeah. He had put the Rebirth back from when he perfect guarded into the deck, and then he Soul Blast to retire something. Which he chooses Blaster Blade Liberator because that's like his worst enemy right now. I really wouldn't do the limit break though, because that would seriously put him at a hand disadvantage, and it just doesn't help against Doryans. Like, literally, look at this shit. He is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 guard if you count the intercept. That is ridiculous. That is beyond ridiculous. And also that Alfred isn't 16 currently, it's just 11. The power up thing down here only, nah, damn it, only happens when it's your turn. So Burnout attacks Star Rain first because 1, it's an intercept, 2, it's all he can hit. And then he attacks with Rearguard again. Personally, I would always attack Rearguard, Vanguard, Rearguard. 1 in the case of triggers, 2 especially if you had stand triggers, or I don't know. But I guess it's also a good point in case Doryan triggers as well, like he has been. Because then this last one wouldn't be able to hit without a trigger anyways. But Doryan guards, so whatever. Doryan no guards for Vanguard. In which we get a critical. Thankfully the triggers are a little evening out right now. Where does he give the power? He gave the power to Vanguard, which makes me obviously assume he doesn't have stand triggers, or else he would have given it to a rear guard. He got a draw trigger as well, which is always helpful. But also note that Devour didn't declare where that critical went, so Doryan actually shouldn't have taken 2 damage. So, people need to make a note of that. Always declare where triggers go. I mean, obviously powers is kind of obvious. Heals are really obvious. Stands are obvious because they fucking stand. And note, he just didn't get a chance to draw for that draw trigger, in case all of you were wondering. But criticals are really, really, really important, and that was a Bluster Blade down there. Hi. So, yeah. More of the story. Declare where triggers go. I mean, hand size, they're relatively even. Not really, because Doryan... It's Doryan's turn, and his hand is just pretty much going to get bigger at this rate. If I were Doryan, I would actually call that Bluster Blade he just got and do Alfred's Limit Break. Even though he'd only get 1 extra call from it, all those other calls are kind of useful. So he could call Blaster Blade, use the Counterblast, get the Retire and then unflip those for the ball in, use Alfred, and then he can unflip again and use the Limit Break again. I mean, not Limit Break, the Retire thing again if he wanted to. So he could potentially clear the front. Or he can do that. Does he have a Blaster Blade in the thing down here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. Oh, that's a good idea. I forgot there was a Star Rain. Oh, that's a Bruno. That's not actually a bad card. Huh. I like that. Because when Bruno is called with Alfred's skill, they're all called at once. Which means he would get power for... He just wouldn't get power for himself, but he would get 3, 6, 9, 12. He would get 12k. I think. Yeah, he would get 12k. I don't know what he was gonna do. The whole Vanguard resting thing, most people do that because it's an accident when they're trying to look into the soul. Just to see how much, obviously, he has. He only has 2 right now? Yeah. He only has 2, so if he wanted to, he could do it. He could rearrange the field a little bit if he wanted to. Or just bring everything back the way it is. Bruno would get power, but he wouldn't be able to use Yosef's skill because the Limit Break itself costs the soul that he has. And damn, this is a long match. This is 24 minutes. What the fuck? Let's see. Either that or it was a laggy match, I don't know. And the lag, it just does this as well. Okay, so he's retiring Star Rain, to call Blaster Blade. Awesome. Wonder if he's gonna do the limit break then. I mean, obviously he should use the retire. He would get it free anyways. Which he kills the intercept, which is good because he would want to try killing him, obviously. He would want to kill Devour as soon as possible. It's the point of every card fight. Doryan's just happy he gets that for free, pretty much. I'm just kind of wondering if Doryan really will. We all know what's coming, so I guess he's not going to do a ride chant like he usually does. So he does go for Alfred's limit, which means he just puts everything back and on top of the deck. He'll call the top 5. So I don't know if he's actually going to do that. I would find it pointless. So he would get the unflip for the ball-in. Bruno gets his power. Because it was called technically from top deck. Oh, he's going to do it anyways. Okay. I mean, I guess you're supposed to. I just find it tedious sometimes. And then we call them back. Most people who call top 5 would just put them in bind. There you go. And we already know what's there. And also note that the reason Alfred Monarch got that extra 10k there is because he is at limit break 5 or ultimate break, so because there will be a Blaster Blade in this, he gets that 10k in a critical because it's placed from deck. I don't know if he did that earlier because of the other part. Because he might have thought that he got power because he called it from hand, but that doesn't work. This says from deck. So if Alfred gets another 10k, I'm gonna be pissed. And then we rearrange shit. Bruno should get 12k. So that would be... how much? Yeah, 19, because I can't add. He would unflip twice for the ball-in. I think. Yes. Maybe. Yes. Or, you know, unflip and then counterblast again to kill that. Or just unflip. So he's probably not going to do the counterblast. I mean, I don't see why you should. Or you can, just for fuck's sake. Why not? I mean, I guess he could against a Rebirth deck because they need a full field to do the limit break. Which means if you kill any of the field, you have to use up more hand to fill it. And what now? Yay! Now we attack. Good, you attack with the weaker first, in case he somehow heals. Devour would need 10k to guard, which he has there, and there, and there. Okay, so he used one of those. I would attack Vanguard next, with the here column, because that's normal, you attack Rearguard, Vanguard, Rearguard. So then, ew, that's a 33k? Ew. That's a thing. Alright, so we're going with the quintet. It's Counterblast 1, you guard with the top 5 cards. So that's 21, 31, 41, 40, and that's a no pass. That's just barely a no pass. In which Doryan gets a perfect guard and an Alfred. Yeah, Devour was just making sure he knew how much it was. Then we put all of that into the drop. And then attack with a ridiculous amount Yosef, which she would need 20k to guard, which he does have, as well as a perfect guard if he wanted to. This match is going on for so long. It's 30 minutes. I know it's probably a laggy match, but holy damn. So that's 21, 31. Okay, so that's the guard. So he kept the perfect guard possibly for later. Doryan ends a turn. All the powers get reduced back to normal. He may draw and get another quintet. What the fuck? Call the burnout. Does he have a thing? Does he have it? Yeah, he does have a thing if he wants to use it. Does he have soul? Yes, he does. Which reminds me, that card arrow, that shouldn't be there again. Go to the drop. Mer. I wonder if... Okay, so yeah, he did see it. You put the Overlord back, you shuffle... Do you shuffle? Or does it go in the bottom? Oh, it does go in the bottom, my bad. Goes on the bottom, you Soul Blast, you retire something. I don't know what I would retire, because... A, Offered no longer can do Limit Break, so you won't have to worry about something like Bruno. Blaster Blade can't do shit anyways, but I guess it's an intercept. That would probably be helpful. I don't know. It's kind of one-sided, and it pretty much has been this entire fight. So, Burnout attacks Yosef because he can't hit Vanguard, which should be 11, not 26. Get rid of your fucking power. You son of a fuck. And there's really no point in keeping the Yosef because you have shit to replace it with. So it's 18 to 11. You would need 10k to guard for 1 pass. 20k for 2 to pass. I mean, no pass. Shut up. Can't add. There's 10. You better put out another 10 because you literally have over enough guard to do this. Okay. It's like, really, don't take chances. Because if he manages to pull a double crit, you'd be fucked. And then you'd be mad. And then there's the crit. You see? He'll probably give it to Vanguard anyways, because I don't... Yeah, or he can give it there. I really don't think he runs stands, though, so it really doesn't matter. And there's a grade 3. Almost said grade 2. Shut up. You heard nothing. I'm rambling again because it's been so long. It's been 33 minutes, and this match has not been over yet, and it should end this turn. Hopefully. Granted, Devour does have a quintet as well as a perfect guard. So the quintet would call from the deck, the perfect guard's dropped to the grade 3, you save 10, 20, 25, 30 guard, and he rides. Why would you ride? Why would you ride? I would have called that, because then you have a grade 3 Vanguard with 11k, and then 2 grade 3 rear guards for 11k, so you're hitting 18 consistently. Even so, it doesn't really matter. That thing should not be... Thank you. You see, you wouldn't have to use the thing right there. God damn it. Because now it's only going to hit for 14, which he only needs 5k to guard, which, holy damn, he has a shit ton of. Just call the things. Just don't ride it. You won't have time to get the break ride off anyways, and if you do, you're going to fuck yourself over because you only have so much deck already. Meh. What the fuck are you doing? What the Why are you not applying more pressure? Why? What are you doing? What? Seriously, what the fuck are you doing? Because, literally, you're going to only attack for 1 attack. Granted, your Vanguard isn't even going to hit for over 10k. So, literally, that's a 2 to pass. Granted, it still works, but if you left Alfred as it was, he would at least be able to hit Vanguard for more than that if you called the other 2 grade 3s. I don't use Gold Paladins and I'm having a migraine. You got a crit. So that could have been put somewhere else if we called it. I don't understand. I really don't. Can this match just be, like, over now? There's Eternal Bringer Griffin, so at least he can have Burnout hit. I don't know what else he's gonna call, though. Oh. He's gonna deck thin. It's when it's called, if you have, if you don't need anything, you just need a drop of grade 3 Kagero, and then you can bring the Dragonic Overlord that he just dropped sort of the deal to the hand. Deck thin to the max. Why does this still say you're looking at your deck? That's another CFA glitch that tends to do that. Or he was actually maybe counting triggers left. I know I would. Saves time from counting from your drop, from your hand, from your damage, etc. Yawn. Yeah, Devour has to really consider his options, considering A, Doryan has a near full field. Even though their damages are the same, their hands are incredibly different. With Devour only have 5 cards right now, and after Twin Drive have, okay, well, what are you doing? Well, I mean, that's okay. I would do that. So he attacks for 11. Because Doryan, even with his ginormous hand, has to guard everything, because they're both at 5 damage. Which doesn't matter much for this attack, because he only needs 5k. There you go. I would attack with Vanguard, then. Okay. So then 18 to 11. I don't know what I would do. I might actually do that with all those fucking 10Ks instead of wasting the perfect guard. Because that's a no pass right there. That's fine. I would do that. I would save the perfect guard for later, just in case. There's a heal trigger that'll definitely help Devour. Because they're at 5 damage each, he does get the heal, plus it's a 10k to guard for later. And since it's a trigger in general, he gives it to Burnout to deal more damage. So that heal could not have come at a better time. Unless maybe it's 6 damage. And that was a pointless grade 1. Okay. So now he has 7 to 14 is 21? 2, 3, 21. Oh, I was right, 21. See, I can add. So he would only need 15k to guard, which he has plenty of. He has a 10k and a 5k. There's the 10k. There's the 5k. And we're good. I don't know what Doryan's going to do in this next turn, because I would personally just call... I wouldn't even have ridden that Bleobarus earlier. I would have just kept Alfred and called the Bleobarus and my extra Alfred. Just to deal more pressure, because this is drawing on a little why. You see? You see? Granted, Garant is actually good. It does get the power, I think. Yes, it does. But you could have healed like he, and your deck is absolute shit. So, do we have any draw triggers left? You have one. You have one there, two there, three there. Am I missing a draw trigger somewhere? You have the risk. If you have 4 draw triggers, you have the risk. Oh, no. Never. Nope. I keep seeing that twice. That is not. You have the risk of having a draw trigger. 1 out of those last 3 cards could be a draw trigger. Which means, if you get it, you deck out. This is why I would not have ridden the Bleobarus, why I would have kept Alfred, why I wouldn't have tried to get that extra break ride just to get calls, because it doesn't work! I'm okay. Okay, so he guarded the first attack, which he perfect guards the second. And that's not a draw trigger. Do you have 4 draw triggers? Do you run only 3? I don't know how many you run. Potentially he could guard this. Granted, I would. Guard it. Guard it with your life. Or, oh yeah, you're only at 4 damage. Never mind. I forgot about that. You're only at 4 damage, and you have plenty of deck. Literally, he doesn't even need to attack. He can end his turn, and he would win. Because once you draw that last card, Doryan, you lost. As soon as you rode Bleobarus earlier, you lost. And this is a 42 fucking minute match. Devour literally... Okay, so now that we know pretty much that Doryan lost, in general, this match was okay. Yes, it was laggy as hell. I don't know what's gonna still go on because you really don't need to. Maybe it's just for shits and giggles because he can. I don't know. I don't give a shit. And that Conroe should've... Okay, so misplayed. That Conroe should have gone to the drop zone earlier, which meant he couldn't have used it for soul just now. So that's actually a misplay. Like I said, Doryan, you should not have ridden Bleobarus and try to get that off. You just decked yourself out, and that was your fault. As I noticed earlier, Cloudy Sky should have actually gotten 3k because it was called with something, I think. Or did you not just call it? I think you just put it on the bottom of the deck. Well, yeah, I guess then it wouldn't have worked. Whatever, I don't give a shit. Anyways, like I said, you shouldn't have ridden Bleobarus. You actually did pretty well otherwise. There really isn't too much to say right now. Like I said, this match could have just ended right now if Devour just ends his turn, because Doryan, as soon as you draw, you fucked up. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just gonna keep watching until they say good game. Yeah. So, that's my review. I don't give a shit. There were a few minor misplays. Relatively, it was a good match. Even though Devour misrode for 2 turns to grade 3, he actually pulled through, which is an incredible victory just to him, just for doing that. That itself is an accomplishment, especially against Gold Paladins, because Gold Paladins are evil. If you face a good Gold Paladin player, most times you're fucked if you fuck up. Just talk to Nova. If you face Nova, you'll understand. Like I said, I don't know why this is still going on. There was a crit anyways, which goes to the standing thing over there. Did he declare the crit? That was another thing. You need to remember to declare crits. I know, Doryan, you didn't mess that up. I think. but Devour did, and that's just as a general rule to everyone, you need to declare crits. And so that's the end of Devour's turn. Doryan draws, game over. That's it. No more. That's done. You're done. You decked out. You lose. Please say good game so I can end this. This is a 45 fucking minute match. Is it over? Is it over? Why are you still playing? I swear, am I the one at fault here? I seriously don't think this is supposed to be happening. I think as soon as you draw, oh, even with that, you fucked up too. See, you're attacking with Vanguard, you lost. At the beginning of your draft check, you lost. Okay, so we're good. We're good. What are you doing? What are you doing? You don't need to guard. You don't take damage because he can't check, which means you don't... Ah! What? What? I'm confused. Does anyone else see this? Of course you see it. I'm fucking recording this. I'm confused. I'm really confused. I'm confused. That shouldn't be on them. But I'm lost. I'm counting. Yeah, Devour, you're kind of fucked unless you want to actually deck out. And I'm hoping your deck count is actually correct. Because that's a quintet. So right now only a heal would save Devour. I'm lost in confusement. Can we call this good game? I would have actually just taken that first hit because you would have to hope for a heal anyways, which meant you could have saved one of those if you did the thing. And all of you are watching this, so you're all gonna see what the hell happened. I don't know what happened. That's enough to guard. I'll just pretend that's not a thing here. I don't know. I'm lost. So Devour gets to go. He draws a card. He can't attack with Vanguard or else he decks himself out. Which means he's left to 2 attacks, both of which can be easily guarded because Doryan has shit ton, but supposedly no deck. This match has been going on for nearly 50 minutes. Why am I still doing this? I'm all by myself too. I don't know. I got lost. So technically, I guess Doryan won. Huh? Can someone actually like comment in the video or something later about what the hell happened? Because obviously they're still playing, so there is a deck. Even though Devour just lost because now he decks himself out. But I don't understand. Technically you don't need to guard because as soon as he drives checks in you can't draw. You get fucked. it's game over. You don't deal damage. So, yeah. I don't know. Excuse my rants earlier, because there's the thing here. I don't know. Okay, so I think that's good game. Considering there's no other checks. Okay. Oh, yep, that's game. Okay, so, I don't know. I'll catch you all later. Bye.